It's that zesty flow, no shima flow. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's that zesty flow.
Arrays. Very good morning and welcome to this session. So in this session we have to discuss a few important points with respect to arrays, and also we have to just compare what is the difference between arrays in a C language and arrays in a Java. What is an array? An array is a group of like typed variables that are referred to be referred by a common name, right? So that will be referred by a common name. There will be one name, there will be a group of variables, right? Arrays of any type can be created and may have one or more dimensions. You might have seen a two-dimension array like a matrix addition, matrix multiplication, all those programs, right? So there you come across something called as a two-dimensional array. Okay, right. A specific element in an array is accessed by its index, because each and every element in an array will be differentiated by their index itself, right? So if you want to access a particular element, then you will be using its index as a reference, right? Arrays offer a convenient means of a grouping a related information. This again justifies that you should have elements of similar data type, right? Yes. One dimension array. How to create a one dimensional array? What is the syntax for that? The general form of a one dimensional array declaration is, first you have to specify what data type you wanted to use. That means what kind of a collection you want to create. So that particular data type, followed by variable name, right? So what is the name that you want to give for that particular group of elements, that particular name, followed by the curly brace, right? That means square brackets, right? Here type declares the base type of the array, right? So what is so means based on which type you wanted to create a collection of elements, right? So the here is example, int followed by month underscore days. So in this example you are creating a month underscore days as an array which will be holding elements of an integer type. Clear? Right. Here comes an important aspect with respect to a Java. If you are doing a declaration, keep this particular point in the mind, and this is very important. So what I'm saying is, in a Java, if you are just declaring a variable, that means array variable, is this a declaration, right? You are not telling how many number of elements need to be added to this particular array. You are not specifying its size. You are just declaring int month underscore days, not specifying any size in the bracket. So what you are doing is you are just declaring a variable, so means array. When you are declaring array, no physical array will be existing in the memory. No array actually exists in the memory, right? So what you have to do with respect to Java, you have to use a keyword called a new and make that particular logical existence of array to the physical existence. Did I made it clear? Can you relate your normal C language and Java? So in a C language, if you are declaring a array, so whenever you are using that particular array, so ultimately the memory will be allocated for that particular array. Even in a declaration itself, once it processes a declaration statement, it will allocate a memory for the array. But here it is not the case. What it is doing is, once you are declaring, it will be keeping in mind that you wanted an array. So means, but existence will not be given. Existence will not be given. Only declaration it will keep in mind, right? Whenever you say a keyword called a new, whenever you use a keyword called a new, then it will create some memory for you. To link month underscore days, that means with respect to this example, this declaration is giving you just a logical existence, not a physical existence, right? So to link month underscore days with an actual physical array of integers, you must allocate one using a new and assign it to month underscore days. That means you have to use a keyword called a new. So after using a keyword called a new, it will be created. That means month underscore days will be come into a picture, into a existence physically, right? So keep an important point in mind. If you are just declaring, logical existence will be there, not a physical existence. If you want to have a physical existence, then you have to use a keyword called a new, right? So what is the syntax for creating a physical existence of array? That I am going to display now. The general form of a new, a question in the chat box. Yeah, done. We will discuss those things afterwards. All those syntax are the possibles. Huh. The general form of a new as it applies to a one-dimensional array appears as follows, right? Array variable, that means in the last example we have created int month underscore day, right? So what was that particular name? Month underscore days, right? So this declaration is done. After this declaration, we said that logical appearance of an array will be there, but not a physical appearance, right? To get a physical appearance, what we have to do? This declared name you have to take equals new, which data type collection you want. You have to specify that. A variable you have to take array variable new followed by a type followed by the size, right? If so means I think I have not put an example here. So this is something like, this expression will be something like month underscore day is equal to new. What type of a collection you wanted? Int type. Whatever is the number of elements you want, you specify those number of elements, right? So after executing this particular statement, there will be a physical existence of array for you, right? So once a physical existence is available, so you can use that particular array in a normal fashion, okay? And when you are using a new keyword, so it will be allocating this much size of array for you, right? So all the elements of that particular array will be initialized to a 0, right? So the elements in array allocated by a new will automatically be initialized to a 0. So means content will be automatically initialized to a 0 only. Clear with the difference? So arrays will be created in a 2 steps. First, array variable is created, then it will be physically created by using a new keyword. Let me show you one example, then I'll see, like so means I'll only ask a few questions, right? Shall we see a small example? First, let me display the example which I have included in the PPT. I hope that particular example should be a self-explanatory. So go through the program for a minute. It won't take that much time also. You just go through the program once. If you understood, then we will see an example. Example is clear, right? What will be output of this particular program? April has a 30 days. April has 30 days. Okay. Good observation. And this made it clear, like you understood what exactly is the array declaration, right? Now let me give you few important conclusions. For that, 1 second, give me 1 second, I'll just create a file. Okay, so here I have a one program, so means one syntax I have taken, so means a blueprint, what I can say, prototype of your program has been written already. Let me draw a few conclusions. What are those conclusions? Say for example, I wrote a just int a, not a specified anything. Did we say that this will create a logical existence of array? Yes, we said that this will create a logical existence of array. Any proof? Means what kind of a error might be it might be showing if I'm just writing only this much this particular part. First question, is there any syntactical errors I have done? I have written int followed by a, I have specified this particular bracket and specified a semicolon also. According to the syntax which is given for the declaration of array variable, this holds good, right? I didn't do any syntax errors, right? So let me just check what happens if I compile a program just by writing this particular instruction. No errors. Let us just cross check. Is it will it show any error, or what are the things it is going to display for? Java C, my file name is arraydemo.java. Right? It doesn't give any error because we have followed a syntax properly, right? Assume I have written something like this: a of 0 is equal to 10. I'm just showing you a justification for the statements which we have written, right? So we said that if you are just declaring, there will be a logical existence of array, but not the physical existence, right? So now what I am doing is I'm just declaring this particular variable and trying to put at a location 0, you take a value as a 10. Now what might be the error? What might be the error? What it might be telling us? What might be the error? Let us just see. Observe the error statement carefully. What it is saying is variable a might not have been initialized. That means there is a necessity of initialization of this particular variable, right? So that means there is no memory created for this particular variable, right? Variable might not be initialized. Okay, did you execute, or you know this particular error? Variable a might not have been initialized. That means it is saying that you have not initialized this particular variable, right? So can I initialize this particular variable now? Can I? How to initialize a variable? How to initialize a content of a array? How to initialize? Can I write something like this? Is this an initialization for the variable? I'm just following the error statement. Error statement, it has said me that variable a has not been initialized. It didn't say like you have to use a new keyword and allocate a space for that, and it has not mentioned me saying that you have a declared a variable as an integer, so logical memory will be created but not a physical memory. It has not shown me an error, something like that. What it has shown me? It has shown me a message saying that you don't have, so means variable a might not have been initialized. It is just a say, it is just talking about the initialization process, right? Giving a values like this, is this a initialization, is a my question, right? When giving a values like this is a initialization, can I just cross check, will it show me any error because I have not used a new keyword now? I hope you are able to understand whatever the things I am discussing, because that means few conclusions have to be shown, then only you can remember the concept. So that is the main intention why I'm writing a step-by-step process, right? Right. Let me write some small for loop just to show like whether this particular 1 and 2 will be assigned to that particular array or not. We'll just cross check. We will just display the elements of that particular array. For I is equal to 0, I is less than, I have two elements. Let me take a sum 3, no problem. I plus plus, or else let me print only 2. It might be showing an error for me, right? System dot out dot println, what I have to print? Content of array.
Sir,
Right?
there is I equal to 0. There is just I.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Right. Huh. Now just a compile and a cross check what might be the output in this case, right? So according to our knowledge, what are the things we have discussed as for now? Okay, a few people are posting a message saying that no error will be displayed. Okay, so no error will be displayed. I agreed because it was according to a syntax. Initialization was taking place. Now, will it print values for me? That is the question, right? If it is printing a value for me, then what is the necessity of using a new keyword then? We have said for so many points. We said like a new keyword need to be used. Physical existence will be there. Logical means logical existence will be there. Physical existence will not be there. You have to use a new keyword. All those stuff. Now it is printing the answer. Huh. Let me give the conclusion. I hope now you understood what are the things I wanted to convey, right? What at least you remember what are the things we have done now. First, we have declared a normal array and checked it was not showing any error, right? So later I tried to put some value into that, so it was showing error saying that array has not been initialized, right? So as it was showing like it has been not initialized, so I initialized the values. Now it is working fine, right? So the thing is, when you know what values you want to put, that means when you know what are the contents of your array, then you can directly initialize, no problem of going for a new keyword, right? So this initialization will automatically in the background, it will be performing action of a new, and it will allocate that much space for your array, and each space will be allocated with a 0, and the values will be put into that particular array. Everything will be done internally once you are doing the initialization process, right? So what is the conclusion is, when you know what the content you have to put into the array, you can directly initialize those particular values, right? So but usually that will not be the case. These values will be given by the user dynamically, right? When a user is giving the values dynamically, you cannot directly initialize the values, right? So when you cannot initialize the values directly, when you don't have a requirement where you can put a values earlier before executing, so you have to go with the two stages of array declaration, right? First I have to declare an array, then I have to use that particular array variable and specify that you wanted to go with new. You have to use a keyword called a new, then specify a int, specify some size for that. Sum2 is a size. Now you have to put a values into this one. A of a 0 is equal to some 10, because I just wanted to show you that new values have been added, and a of a 1 will be some 20. Let me just compile and check. Working fine, no errors, 10 and 20 has been printed. Clear with the concept, clear with the way we have initialized the values.
Yes, sir.
When you know the values directly, you can directly initialize the array. No problem, no need to use a new keyword. When you don't want to do that particular part while a declaration itself, then you have to take it separately, right? So be clear with my point. Say for example, if I am writing a statement something like this, what I mean to say, let me comment this particular section. Commented this particular section here. After a initializing the values, is it correct now? Can I do something like this? Let us cross check. What is the problem? We have a compiler ready for us. What error it is showing? Not a statement. It is expecting semicolon. Not a statement. it is expecting semicolon, right? At least we'll do one thing. This means let us change this one. Is this array declaration? So means initialization of array. Will you be doing initialization like this? Let us see what a compiler is going to say us. Illegal start of type. So many errors, right? So why have I changed this particular modification and told you is, if you are a, if you don't want to use a new keyword during a declaration itself, you have to initialize the values. You cannot take that particular statement even to a next line also. If a declaration and a initialization are in the same line, then only you can go with the direct declaration followed by initialization. If a declaration and the initializations are taken care in the different stages, then you have to go with a new keyword. Clear with the array declaration? Different. One is a direct initialization and another one is by using a new keyword. A question in the chat box. Sir, what is the difference between int of a is equal to new int of see, whenever you are saying a new int of, you have to specify a size, like what should be the size of your array. Once you specify its a size, you can initialize the values into that one, no problem. You can write that one, no problem. In a single statement, you are finishing that particular declaration and value of a new array, right? So he wanted to just put these two statements in a single line, can be done. Yes, this is feasible. You can specify something like this. Int a, you are saying that you wanted to create a, which is equal to of a 2. That means you are saying that you wanted to create a new array of a size 2. Yes, can be done, no problem. Clear with a different way of using a arrays declaration and using. You have a basically two ways. When you know the values directly, you directly initialize the values by putting a curly braces during a declaration itself. That is a one way. Second way, if you don't know the values and you want to put a values later in the program, just create an array by using this particular syntax, right? You can separate this one in 2 lines also, no problem, or you can use put a complete thing in a single line also, no problem. So use this particular syntax and proceed further. Right? Shall we go to a one missing topic with respect to a looping part? Right. Under a looping part, we had a something called for each. Right? If you go to a Python, you will be having a keyword called a for each itself, but in with respect to a Java, you don't have a separate keyword called a for each, but you can modify your for loop. You can modify your for loop to work as a for each. What exactly does a for each will do? What a for each will do is, basic constraint for a for each is it need to have a collection in the sense group of elements it need to have, right? Once you have a group of elements, if you want to perform any action on those group of elements, right, what actions you will be performing on a group of elements? Either you will be displaying the contents of that particular group of elements, or so means basically when you want to print the content of that particular group, right? Say for example, now I have an array size is a 2 now I want to print that particular elements of array. When you want to print elements of array, what you have done, you have written int I is equal to 0, specifying that from index 0 I is less than 2, right, till that particular condition is satisfied or not. Every time you increment I plus plus, these are the things you clearly specify, right? What does the for each says is, when you are sure that you are passing me a collection, Don't bother about all these things. What it says is, you declare some variable for me, right, which is same data type of that particular collection, right? Write a colon and specify that collection. I'll take a rest of our things. Now, how a for loop will work is, in this particular collection, from the starting, each and every element, it will copy into variable I. Right? So that is the reason why you have given a name, it is named it as a for each. That means for each element of this particular collection, it will be taken into this particular variable called I. Right? So later you can just print what is the content of I, no problem. It will give you the output. Let us just change this particular for statement for int I, not a semicolon, you need to put a colon. Yes, colon, give the array name, right? So now what I'm saying is, every time each element of a array A will be copied to a variable I, right? No need to initialize, no need to check a condition, no need to check whether it has been reached to an end of your array or not. Simply specify the collection, whichever you have, the collection name you specify, and say that this particular element, every element of that particular array will be copied to a I. So system.out.println, now you should not say A of I, rather you need to say just value of I. Because now the content of your A, every time each element will be copied to I, right? And keep in mind that every time it can hold only one value from the array, because it is a normal variable, right? So what you are doing is, the element from an array you are taking into a normal variable, right? So on this variable you can perform whatever the things you want to do, right? So let me just quickly run this program and check, is it working according to the statements or the points whatever we have said. 10, 9, 20 has been displayed. So that is a program and there is a output. I got a question in a chat box. But there will be no updating, right, sir? Yes, there will not be any updating, but it will be performing that particular loop until it finds the end of that particular elements, right? Say for example, in array, if I have a 20 elements, so it will be printing all the elements that particular till that index 20 has been reached, right? If you have a requirement of only those types, that means where you want to access a complete array, in only those scenarios you go with this particular kind of a looping. For int I colon A, can we write like this? No, not required. Not required to specify that explicitly that that is array. If you are typing just a name of array, it will directly takes elements from that. And one more thing, apart from a collections, you cannot declare any normal variable here. That means if you have any normal variable int x is equal to some 10, here you cannot specify that kind of a normal variable. It will show you error saying that here it is expected some group of elements itself. If you want to give one condition, then what kind of a condition? You can give a condition based on a based on an element. You can give a condition. Say for example, at a location 3 you had a 30, right? You can give a condition based on that one. Say for example, if I is equal to 30, then you can break a sum loop. Can be done. Keep one thing in mind, whenever you, so means what you will be doing is, each element from that particular array, you are copying it into a value of a I, right? So after copying that value into I, you can do anything. So sir, what if we use the jump statement, what would happen? It clear, see, based on the instructions, whatever you have written, it will work. Say for example, now I will add a one more element to this one. I will say a of a 2 is equal to some 30. So no need to means now I don't bother about what is a for loop has been written, because it is completely taking care of all the elements of my array, right? Let's sort of, oh, I have a declared array with a size 2. This I have to take care. Say for example, I'll give some 10, no problem. I have a that much bigger array now. Copying is done, means compiling is done. See, it is printing all other elements as a 0. Right? So what we have said, it will be initializing every element with a 0. So it is navigating till the 10th element, it is printing a values for me. All right. So in between, if I wanted to do something, say for example, what I will do, I'll write a bracket statement here. Here I will write something like this. Let it print the values. Only let it print a value. It has been printed. I'll check a condition. If the value of I is equal to 0, right? I will put a break. Right? So now what I mean to say, first a 10 will be copied into I. It will be checked. It is not a 0. So it will print this particular statement for me. 20 will be copied, checked, not equal to 0, 20 will be printed. 30 will be copied, checked with a 0, not equals, print. 0 will be copied to I, check the condition, comes out of a break. Now what should be my output? It has to print only 10, 20, 30, and the zeros need to be discarded. That means there should be a break with respect to that particular zeros. Compile fine. Printing a 10, 20, 30, and the zeros have been neglected because you wrote a condition with respect to 0. Clear with the for each loop. See, keep one thing in mind. If you wanted to have a calibrated version of array elements, that means you want to refer elements with respect to its index also, value also, you have a complete specific requirement, then go with a normal for loop. Most of the times where this particular for each will be used is if you want to just print elements, or if you want to just navigate to those particular elements based on a few one or two conditions. In only those scenarios for each can be used and preferred also. Right? So today's so means with respect to today's class, our more intention was with respect to arrays part. So are you clear with the arrays, like how to declare an array, how to put a values into array? A question in a chat box. Sir, but how does the compiler knows that a which is inside the loop represents an array? See, once you declare a particular variable, there will be an entry for that particular variable in a memory space, right? What I mean to say is there will be only one name, right? Say for example, if I have already array with a name A, I cannot create a normal variable A. What it is saying? Variable A is already defined in a method, right? That means, can I justify saying that all the variables will be having a unique name now, right? So that is a one thing. And the second thing, say for example, if I wrote this one as a sum x, this is now a different variable. Now if I try to give here instead of a, if I give a x, which is a normal variable, which is not a collection, right? So it will obviously throw me an error saying that the variable which you have specified is not a collection, right? It is saying that for each, see in the explanation also it is saying a for each, it is not just a saying a for loop, right? So it is saying for each, not applicable to expression type. That means it is considering that is a substitution something, right? X can be have any value because it is a variable. So it is feeling like you have written some expression, and you cannot give an expression as means as an argument at this particular point, right? So what it will do is whatever the name you specify here, it will cross check that whether you have passed a collection or not. If you have a passed the collection, then it will work accordingly. If you have not passed the collection, then it will show you error saying that expression cannot be put at this particular point, or whatever is the suitable error message with respect to that. Can you modify the same program to just print some of those particular elements instead of printing just elements? Can we? I'll just take this one as a variable sum. Sum is equal to 0. So let it navigate from a starting point to a last point. Let me take it as a normal for each loop itself, right? So within this particular for each loop, let me write a statement. Sum is equal to whatever is the previous sum plus whatever is the value of I. This will be in a loop now, right? Now, sum of elements is space double quote whatever is the value of a sum that I will print. Let me just cross compiled fine. Those many times it is printing 10 20 or I have written it as a part of a for each loop. Let me just remove this brackets. We have done with the one program sum of elements of array. Can we modify the same program to search for a particular key element? Yes, we can modify. When you want to modify, first you need to have a key element. So instead of a sum, let me take it as a key. Key is equal to some value I'll take, some 10, right? So within this particular for each loop, now I need to have a braces for this one in a proper fashion. For each element I from an array, I need to check a condition, right? So what a condition I need to check? If your key element is matching with the I, right? If it is matching with the I, correct? What does it means? Element found, right? So I can write some statement like this. I don't have a sum variable used. Done. Let me change this 10 to a 20. Element found. Clear? So means why you will be writing a programs means just to be comfortable with the whatever the structures or whatever the rules and the regulations we have understood with respect to the concepts. That means a for loop, how it works, right? So using this particular for loop, what kind of a problems I can solve? If you have these particular questions in mind, then only you will be proficient in a programming, right? So that's it from my side. So today we have discussed the concepts with respect to array and array declaration, different ways of array declaration, and we have seen how exactly the for each loop can be used, and we have seen a few examples using a for each loop, right? Thanks for those interactive questions asked, and thanks for your time. Have a nice day.